Hello, everyone. I'm Indu Kanayan. I'm your emotional well-being coach, and welcome to Manasvi Healing YouTube channel. Have you ever woken up tired, even after 8 hours of sleep? Yeah, it has happened to me as well. And the reason we say is, I don't know what happened, or because I'm aging these days, I'm tossing around, I'm not having the enough sleep, or I'm having disturbed sleep. All these reasons we give it to us, to ourselves. But what's really happening is your stress hormone, which is the cortisol, that is actually still active while you're sleeping. And that is why you feel in the morning, you feel fatigue, brain fog, and sometimes you're not able to focus on anything. You feel low motivation. Sometimes you're irritable and you're reactive towards certain things. And these things happen because you're not having the enough sleep, or it's not, rather, I would say enough sleep, the rested state for you to feel refreshed. Now, let's understand about cortisol. The cortisol is actually a stress hormone, and that is being released or secreted by the adrenal glands. Now, this is important for us. Why? Because the cortisol will be at its peak in the morning for us to wake up, for the body and the mind to be alert and wake up. And then it would gently decline during the night. And so we can feel that calm and rested state for us to go to the bed and have a good night's sleep. Now, this is not happening. Why? Because some of the women, we go through the chronic emotional stress. Now, what do I mean by that is it is an unprocessed emotion. Now, that could be from the past, or that could be on your day to day life where you're not able to let go of certain things. You're like, oh, in the workplace, some especially, this thing happened and I'm not the cause for it. And how can this happen to me? And these are the things that keeps you in that stressed phase. Yeah. And then sometimes you overthink about a situation like, why is this happening? And because of overthinking, the one thing that happens for sure is it leads to a fear. When you overthink about a situation, it causes fear and anxiety more than anything. So, overthinking, if you're someone who is overthinking by nature, then automatically you might see all these things in your life. And then also, people please. It drains your energy. It's emotionally very challenging if you're praising someone for no reason. And then resentment and guilt. All these are the emotions that keeps your body in the fight or flight mode, and which is why the cortisol secretion is not declining. It at its peak, right? Because the body is not able to differentiate between what's the real danger and what's your emotional stress, which is why while you go to sleep, you think that I'm safe in my environment, but your body and mind doesn't see that because you're overthinking or you are carrying some emotional baggage that's resurfacing you all the time, whatever that has happened in the past, and you're still not able to let go of that, or you have not realized how to release those emotions in a safe way. So your body and mind, rather your nervous system, feels that you're safe within you. And that's what happens. And because the cortisol level is high all the time, it's disrupting your circadian rhythm, which is your sleep cycle, and also your nervous system as well. So now what happens is when you're on a constant overthinking, or your emotions are always at its peak, your brain in the limbic system, which I had spoken in my previous video, you can go and watch what is limbic system. It all constantly signals this fight or flight mode. And so while you're sleeping, it's constantly in its active phase rather than allowing you to in your rested phase. So that is why we experience this brain fog, anxiety, emotional overwhelming, and all these aspects become our hindrance in our daily life. And that disrupt your connection with your loved ones, in your family, in your workplace, within yourself. Like over the time, you feel like I'm not myself. Like, why is this happening? And you're trying to get the answers, but these are the actually causes of why you're feeling that way and why you're reacting in that way. Some of the mistake because of this, when we feel low energy, we tend to have, some of us, we tend to have the caffeine, which we think that's going to boost your mood, or having sugary foods, which you think, okay, that's going to give you instant energy. It does give us instant energy, but we know how the glucose spike and the crash, it's not actually going to help you in the long run. So that is just a temporary relief, and that's not actually fixing anything at all. And sometimes you feel, oh, I want to show myself as an empowered woman. I need to mask everything and show myself really strong. And that is not going to help either, because your body knows more than what you think you know about yourself, because your emotions are stored in the body, and that is affecting your cellular level, and which is why we need to actually work on your emotional balance more than anything else. And not necessarily you need to sleep for long hours. 8 hours of sleep is enough. For some, they say 6 hours, 7 hours. Whatever your sleep time, that is optimum. Having said that, if you extend your, if you think I need to sleep extra hours, you can, but understand that you need to work and regulate your emotions prior to extending the sleep hours. So that is important for us to do. And stress is not just, it's not just in the mind level. It is actually a full body chemical response. So your hormones, your heart rate, your digestion, your immune system, everything is connected to that. So do not think it's just only in the mental thing and you can logically work around that. Definitely not. And what are the things that we can do to regulate our emotions? Now, on a daily basis, if you are holding on to something that happened in the past, when I say trauma, not necessarily it has to be a huge traumatic event, but something could have affected your emotion back then. And because you have been telling that story, or it's been resurfacing quite a lot in a very frequent time, then that becomes a trauma in someone's life. If that is the case, then you need to work on the root cause of the issue. Probably the one that I'm going to tell will not actually solve that. But having said that, how we can regulate it in our day-to-day basis, which is doing something called micro emotional release on a daily basis, that is, it's very simple. So when you're going through certain emotions or feelings, say anxiety, like you're someone, if you're applying for a job, probably even at the applying stage, you might feel that tension, or some sort of not abnormal, not the regular feelings, but you feel like anxious or you feel stressed. Then acknowledge that feeling and then exhale it out. So when you acknowledge and exhale it out, like I'm feeling anxious and it's okay, and then you slowly exhale it out, you're just telling yourself, okay, I had just felt that and it's okay for me. And then you now know how to navigate that feeling or that emotion. So you are just telling yourself that it is okay, that this is what I felt, because labeling an emotion helps you to move forward rather than sitting with that, right? So that is one thing that we can do, which is very simple. And the second thing is, you need to now, how do we regulate that emotion? Now, when you have said that, say you're anxious about anything and you have said that, you can then do this breathing, which is very simple. You can do from anywhere between 3 or 5 or 7 times, which is to inhale at the count of 4 or 4 seconds and then exhale for 6 seconds. Now, the exhaling time has to be longer than the inhaling time. The reason being, the more time you take to exhale, it just calms your parasympathetic nervous system, and so it just helps you to lower that secretion of cortisol, the stress hormone. So where you feel that rest and digest more. So it just calms you. So inhale for 4 and then exhale for 6 seconds. And you can do that repeatedly until you feel that the inner balance or that calmness within you. Okay, so that is the second thing. The third thing, we will connect with the nature. Now, because it's going to be a summertime, going forward, it's spring and then very soon summer. As we wake up, stay on the sunlight for 15 to 20 minutes, and you can just go for a quick walk around your block without using your mobile. That is very important. Do not use any gadgets. When I say gadgets, Yeah, you can use earphone, but don't see your mobile where you have those radiations or all of that. So you don't want to see that. So no phones. So for the first 15 minutes, so just go around the morning walk in the natural sunlight and then regulate your sleep and your wake up time. So sleep, try to go to bed on the particular time, say around 9, half past 9 or whatever time that suits you. And then wake up on a particular time, maybe that's 6 in the morning, 5:30, whatever that time that you would think you want to wake up. So keep that as a regular one. So then your body comes to the cycle, that body clock. Yeah, it's regulating your body clock. And the next best thing I would want you to do as well is ask before you ask yourself, what is the emotion that you have been carrying throughout the day? And is that something that you would want to sleep with? A very powerful question. So if you've been feeling anxious, worried, tension, chaotic, all of that, and is that the emotion that you would want to sleep with? And I'm pretty sure you will say no. And if that is the case, then release it with some sort of breathing exercise or do some meditation, calm yourself, and then go to bed. So that way you don't feel all these things. And eventually your cortisol level will be declining during from the day until during the night. And then your circadian rhythm also fixes. And then you should have that good night sleep where you wake up, you feel completely refreshed, and you see your loved ones smiling, probably hugging, and then you can start your day with the inner motivation rather than we needn't scroll through any YouTube shorts or any reels and feel motivated from there and then it declines there. So you can regulate yourself like that. And so, my question is, if you're someone who is unable to reflect on your emotions or you're not able to let go of your emotions and you're still penting up and you really want to work on yourself, then I would encourage you to come and join our 5 days emotional healing practice, and that starts in November. I believe it's on the 10th. I will put the details in the show notes, and you can click the link and join us. And we can help you to understand how to reflect, how to release, how to rebalance your internal and external energy as well. So it's completely free, there's no catch. So you can come along and see for yourself how you can regulate your life and lead your happy life as well. So until I see you all next time, namaste. Everybody stay blessed. Thank you.